Your child used to create elaborate stories with their toys, build amazing structures with blocks, and draw pictures they were proud to show you. Now they say, I can't draw or I don't know how to play whenever you suggest non-screen activities. They seem to have lost confidence in their ability to create, imagine, or problem solve without digital assistance. What you're witnessing isn't just screen addiction. It's something far more devastating called creative confidence crisis, where children lose faith in their own creative abilities after becoming dependent on screens for entertainment and stimulation. This silent epidemic is robbing an entire generation of children of their natural creative powers, but most parents don't recognize it until it's deeply established. At the end of this video, I'll reveal the specific steps to reverse this crisis and restore your child's creative confidence. Creative confidence crisis develops gradually, so parents often miss the warning signs until their child's natural creativity has been severely compromised. It begins when children become accustomed to the instant gratification and perfect outcomes that screens provide. When they watch videos or play games, everything is polished, colorful, and immediately engaging. Their own attempts at drawing, building, or creating feel inadequate by comparison, because real-world creativity requires effort, practice, and tolerance for imperfection. Your child's developing brain starts to believe that anything worth doing should be easy, instantly satisfying, and produce impressive results without struggle. When they try to draw a house and it doesn't look like the animated houses they see on screen, they conclude they're bad at drawing, rather than understanding that creativity is a process of learning and improving. This perfectionist mindset, created by exposure to polished digital content, becomes a barrier to engaging in any creative activity that requires patience or practice. The crisis deepens when children begin to rely on screens to generate ideas for them, rather than developing their own imaginative thinking. They become consumers of creativity rather than creators, losing touch with their innate ability to invent games, tell stories, or solve problems through original thinking. When asked what they want to do, they genuinely can't think of anything because their imagination muscle has atrophied from lack of use. Screen-dependent children often develop what psychologists call learned helplessness around creativity. They believe they need external input to be entertained or to create anything worthwhile. They've forgotten that their own minds are capable of generating endless interesting ideas, stories, and solutions. This isn't laziness or lack of intelligence. It's a predictable response to having their creative thinking consistently outsourced to digital devices. Here's your actionable insight. Implement what I call the imperfection celebration method to rebuild your child's creative confidence. When your child attempts any creative activity, drawing, building, storytelling, or imaginative play, focus your praise on their effort and creative process rather than the outcome. Say things like, I love how you tried 3 different ways to build that tower, or you use such interesting colors in your picture, instead of that's beautiful or good job. This teaches them that creativity is about exploration and experimentation, not about producing perfect results. The key is celebrating the messy, imperfect, experimental aspects of creativity that screens never show children. Point out when they problem solve during play, when they change their minds and try different approaches, or when they combine ideas in unexpected ways. This helps them understand that real creativity involves trial and error, multiple attempts, and learning from what doesn't work as much as celebrating what does. Another crucial element in reversing creative confidence crisis is what I call creative co-participation. Engaging in imperfect creative activities alongside your child without trying to teach or improve their work. Sit down and draw badly together. Build structures that fall down or make up silly stories that don't make perfect sense. When children see adults engaging in imperfect creativity with joy and curiosity rather than frustration, they learn that creativity is about the experience, not the product. The most damaging aspect of creative confidence crisis is that it extends beyond artistic activities into problem-solving, independent play, and emotional processing. Children who lose confidence in their creative abilities often struggle to entertain themselves, solve social conflicts, or work through difficult emotions because these all require the same imaginative thinking skills that screens have displaced. Recovery from creative confidence crisis requires patience because children need time to rebuild their tolerance for imperfection and their faith in their own creative abilities. Start with very low-stakes creative activities where there's no possibility of failure. Things like playing with Play-Doh, water play, or open-ended building materials where any outcome is acceptable. Gradually introduce activities that involve more creative risk-taking, but always maintain the focus on process over product. Avoid displaying or praising children's creative work in ways that emphasize how it looks, rather than celebrating the thinking, imagination, and effort that went into creating it. The environment you create around creativity matters enormously in rebuilding confidence. Ensure that creative materials are easily accessible, that there's no pressure to clean up immediately, and that children have permission to experiment, change their minds, and start over as many times as they want. Creative confidence flourishes in environments where exploration is valued more than neatness or completion. Some children need explicit permission to create imperfectly. You might need to model this by deliberately making mistakes in your own creative attempts and showing delight rather than frustration when things don't turn out as planned. This helps children understand that creativity is supposed to be experimental and unpredictable. The children who recover from creative confidence crisis often become more genuinely creative than they were before their screen dependence because they've learned to value the creative process itself rather than just seeking impressive outcomes. They develop resilience around creative challenges and genuine pride in their own imaginative abilities. Remember that creativity isn't just about art or building, it's the foundation for problem-solving, social skills, emotional regulation, and independent thinking that serve children throughout their lives. When you help your child recover their creative confidence, you're giving them tools that no screen can provide. Comment below and let me know what you are currently struggling with relating to your kids' obsession with screens. Click the link or check my bio to discover an ebook that can give you all the skills that you need to stop your child's screen addiction.